Good morning.
Hello. It's like,
We
oh
made
crap,
it, and we're early.
for us, right? Because
Yeah, we're early.
it was 10:01 when that music started.
That's right.
That's
So we're better, way better today.
right. We're a little bit caffeinated. We got sunshine coming in.
Yeah.
We're acting like we know what we're doing, just a little bit. All
Well,
right. Well, Miriam, we had actually a question come in from the podcast. So we asked a question on Spotify, and they were asking if you had cleared Case Western or Kent State University after the violence and shootings.
I cleared case or scratch Kent after the big one that everybody, like the one that was 20, 30 years ago, that one, absolutely. I did clear that after. Case I have cleared, but not since the most recent shooting. So but there's always some kinds of, I mean, in all honesty, I've talked at so many campuses and gone to so many colleges that it's amazing how violent a college campus really is, between suicides and there's always something going on at a campus, always, and especially if the kids are in the dorms. I've done, I don't know how many dorms in on a campus setting.
You put a bunch of young people together who are on their own for the first time and see what trouble.
And the freshmen are usually the ones that have the biggest problems. It's like we have freedom and we're going to do whatever we want, whenever we want. And oh my gosh.
Right. That we're free to do and go experience everything. Yes. So Brooke is here. Brooke.
Good.
Let's see. Now, since you had cleared before that most recent shooting, like what are the odds? Because I guess the question I should ask is, if it's seated and ready to go and there was that shooting, what are the odds that there could be another portal potentially?
Very easily. College campuses are full of portals. Kids fight with one another terribly. In the dorms, they argue with one another. I mean, I think it gets to a point by the end or even right after Christmas break. It's almost like living with your sisters and your brothers. And you just push the button as far and as hard as you can. And, they're all buddies starting to get in the fall. But by Christmas time, they pretty much had it with one another.
Right. No more pretending to be nice because we're classmates.
That's right.
Yeah, so a couple of people have listened to the podcast, already loved it. Let's see, and there was another one up here. Marianne says, I figured out how to play the podcast via my cell phone and play through my car radio. How fun. Great entertainment while driving to and from work last week. Well,
cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a podcast listener quite heavily. So when, I threw the idea out to Marianne, like a year and a half, it's been a minute ago, I was like, people will love this. Could have been a little bit, biased because I like podcasts, but I think it's catching on.
I wish that it would catch on a little faster, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad people are enjoying it. I hope that they're telling their friends and relatives, got to listen to this, or this one was really good. Catch this one. Not everyone is going to be the best that everybody listens to because they're so varied, but there's got to be a couple that are your favorite.
Right. And surely friends and family members, like, people that are into the same type of things. So spread the love. Well, welcome in. Glad you can catch it. Let me see. You know what? Let's go ahead and put the, I can find it real quick, the podcast link, which it's called When Ghosts Speak, and it's on everything, like all the major players and platforms, though most people seem to be, if it's not iTunes, it's Spotify and Amazon, but it's free to listen to on all of them. So feel free to listen at your whim as many times as you like and share it. That's the actual kind of hosting website for it. So
Let me ask you something, and you would know. I've had 2 calls in the past 3 weeks from people that have uh, podcasts that have regular radio night programs, and they have their podcasts and everything too. And the one in particular, no, both of them have said, "Oh, you're really stupid. Why don't you charge people to listen?" Is that what people normally do? Charge people to listen to them?
so it seems to be when podcasts get to a certain size and popularity, then they will do things like the Patreon, or there's certain networks that you can also get hosted, like funnel it over, and you pay to listen. So one of the ones that I like listening to, True Crime Garage, they have recently taken their first 50 episodes of however many hundreds or thousands that they have, and now you can only listen to those first 50 over here that you pay like a monthly subscription for. And I'm like, I've already listened to them, I'm not going to pay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. Some people can and will.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't think. Well, I guess I wouldn't pay to do it, so I don't think anybody else should or would either. I don't know.
I mean, some people, especially if you have the time, which right now neither one of us do, to create specific content only for those paid places. So, like the closest thing we're doing right now is on Twitch, where they can watch the live recording of the podcast while it's happening. And then after we're done, I take it down. So if you're not there watching, then you wait for the episode to come out. That's
Yeah.
the closest we get.
They see everything before you go over it and throw stuff out.
Yeah, before I take out any of the side conversation, potentially inappropriate yet funny comments that we do, you know. So you get to be there live and kind of talk with other people as it's happening. So that's about as close as we get to it. You know what? Good question. Will there be any more episodes in the future where you're walking through a haunted place like Stanley?
Yeah, we have a few planned.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of working out with their schedule, our schedule, and I really wish we could get into the tea house and do that one, but she is so freaked out now that she knows. She like
She
instantly.
would want to do something to get it over with and, make the place, ghost can't get in anymore. You think she would want to do that?
I think right now she's in the mindset of, if I don't think about it, it's not
It's
there.
not happening.
I won't have to deal with it.
That surprises me because I hate to say it, but that's where men come from. A man has to have a ghost almost bunk him up the side of the head. And the problem is that women seem to take it a little bit more to heart, except people that have not lived in the United States for a long time. In other words,
Right.
people coming in from other countries and living here, because they have their whole set of beliefs from whatever country they came from. But
Mhm.
eventually they come around too.
Right. So Andrea says, I love that you guys don't charge a ton of money for the content. The information provided is streamed.
No, we don't charge any money. It's all
Right.
well
And
for Zoom. Zoom is $20.
but that's like private, so many people, that's not like a public.
Right. That's not taped. Nobody else can hear it. That is totally between, the other 19 people, Melissa and me. That's pretty much it.
Mhm.
And when that turns off, it's done.
Right. But the closest that there's a charge, on Twitch, like a commercial may run unless you pay like a $5 monthly thing. And we get like a small percentage. And my goal with that is to then help pay for the renting of the places when we're doing public events, because all of those places cost hundreds of dollars. So,
Hundreds of dollars, believe me. And especially now because nobody has any help. Go figure.
yeah. So what bit that we're earning from Twitch gets to go to, or towards, I should say, the renting of the railway, the renting of, like, when we were at the merry-go-round museum. So the bigger the building, the more expensive they are. So yeah, that helps offset some of that cost. It's like $5 a month, or just sit and watch the ad. Though sometimes a question you may ask, we could be giving the answer, and here comes an ad, unfortunately. So I try, when it comes to like the podcast recording and like later in the evening when we're doing the general discussion and like the card readings, I can see when an ad's getting ready to start, and I'll just kind of wait or fluff around until I know the ads are done, so you can hear your answers. Just because, why not? But that's as close as we charge for anything. Let's see. Is it the tea house in Fairview Park? Maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I know, seriously, if you are in downtown Cleveland, I know of tea houses in Medina, in Fairview Park, in Akron. I won't even go up to the east side, but so there's all kinds of tea houses. So take your pick.
Right. And on Twitch, you get cool little emotes you can use in chat. Yeah, we get the most, but you figure like it's $5, so it's like not the full $5, and it takes longer at like for something to equal how many hundreds of dollars. So it's helpful, and it really is. Especially when people are gift subbing to one another, gifting subscriptions out, so they're not seeing the ads. And so it's helpful that way. Proper ghost ladies love tea houses.
You'd be surprised.
Right?
Could be in them.
Natalie asks, are you able to communicate with the wee folk, and do they know that you can see them?
I think they all know when somebody actually spots them, because it's such a hard thing. It's like, try staring at a fly that's flying around. You're not getting to see very much of it except the buzzing and back and forth and back and forth. And sometimes that's all you see. The bigger ones, they will run and hide. So, but you don't have to talk. I mean, as far as I know, they understand English just fine. And they're in other countries, so apparently they're bilingual. They can talk to anybody anywhere. Or multilingual.
There is said to be a haunted hotel in Chattanooga, Tennessee called the Reed House. Do you know much about that hotel?
Never heard of it. But again, hotels, motels, inns, old stagecoach inns. Yeah, I mean, downtown Medina, there's a restaurant there that was a stagecoach stop, that if it was, people could spend the nights upstairs before they traveled, give the horses a rest, and before they traveled the next day, or if weather was bad. So, and that place is always full.
Studio Artists asks, is it true that if you're encountering a paranormal episode and you pray that they cross over and it calms down, it's a ghost, but if it gets more intense, it's a demon?
Yeah, no, never saw that at all. Ever, ever, ever. Yes, Brooke, almost. You want to make an earthbound spirit angry, try using holy water on them, or using the name of God to get rid of them. And they could get very angry with that and start acting up more than that. But that does not mean they're a demon. Why does everything have to be a demon?
TV, movies.
Geez, oh man, it just aggravates me.
Holier than thou religious folk. Spreading
70-some years old. If I've run across 4 or 5 demons in my whole life, that's a lot. But some people on TV see them every week. Aren't they lucky?
Great ratings.
Yeah,
Great ratings.
I guess so. I can't do that. Nope. Just can't do that.
It's all demons on TV, right? All the time. all
Yeah,
the
the live ones make holding the cameras is where I would put that, to be honest with you.
yeah. And it seems to be too that it's always one of those TV, and the main person is always the one who's being constantly stalked by a demon from location, location, location. That they're always being scratched, or and I'm like, they need to start a show where everybody as allowable as you can, like, guys, shirt off. I want to see that you're not already scratched before you walk into that building, because 10 minutes later you're suddenly going to say you're scratched and you lift the shirt and there's 3 lines. Well, did you
That's
have
right.
it before you walked in there?
That's
Prove to
right.
me that it wasn't there.
That's right.
um I'm very
I
sick of
have been now seriously, I have been scratched a number of times, and I'm sure I don't know if anybody that I've ever done their house, it happened in your house. It happened on the radio once. And the cameraman was taking a picture of me when it happened. And he ran over with his hanky and gave it to me to put on my arm. I mean, there was nothing on my arm, and then all of a sudden my arm started bleeding. And so it wasn't a demon. It was just a really angry earthbound spirit. It was not the devil. It was not the demon. It was just a really ordinary man. Yeah, he had committed murder, but that's beside the point. He
Are
still
you
wasn't the
surprised?
devil.
Are we surprised that
No, no,
kind of a jerk in life and still a jerk in death? So
exactly.
um let's see. uh
I would be curious to know, people that are listening. I can see, I would be very, very, very curious to know, just a count of how many people have had Ghostbusters in your house and you had to give your house up for the night to let them do whatever it is the heck they do. And my question to you would be then, you let total strangers into your house for the whole night when you're not there? Who does that? And why do they clear houses at night? I don't do it at night.
well,
I
that's
do it when the
because
sun is
when
shining.
they come out.
That's right. They're out
um,
all the time. They're not only out at night. Ay, ay, ay.
Thank you, Melanie. um so there was a question about how to detect wee folk, and I'm trying to find, there it is. Is there a way to detect wee folk, and how does one know if they're around?
You have to pay a lot of attention. What is it that is being disturbed? Is your child afraid to be in the room? Are you having problem with your animals? Because those are the two things that we folk, the ones that are not nice, tend to go after. And the only way I can tell over the phone is if you've got them and I am talking to you, I hear a very distinct high pitched noise, which is the same thing I hear if you've got aliens, but it's a different pitch. Now, here I am. I can't whistle in tune, but I can tell the difference in those two pitches. So that's the only way I can tell. Once I'm in a house, yeah, sometimes I can catch them and I can see them. So, and some people that have had them, like sprites and wood sprites and little fairies, some people see them actually pretty often, but those aren't really the problem ones.
Yeah, they're not clearing houses, making things worse.
Yeah, right.
um yeah, that's true. They do get paid to let them in the house overnight. And
They do?
I think some of them will, like, if you get picked, depending on the show, like, there's a reimbursement.
You're
Are they all like
kidding
that?
me.
Probably not. It's I don't know. We've had a couple phone calls, and I reached out to you on one of them, that there was a lady between North Olmsted and Sandusky who had the debt files there in her house. And I went and watched that episode, and she wanted people to come out and take care of all the things. And you had been out there previously before, and she did not follow through with what she was told to do, but then decided to call the TV people and wanted all of this attention for it. And you're like, I am not going out again. She
She
doesn't
was
like that.
after the attention of it. I did not know she was getting paid, however.
See, and I don't know if that particular one, I think some of them do. I don't know if they all do.
Yeah.
But, sent out one of my other people, and I never heard back. This was what, 2, 3 years. This was before COVID. So
Okay. Oh
never
no,
heard
that I know exactly who you're talking about, and that was a number. That was a while back. That was a good 6, 7, 8 years ago, at least.
Mhm.
Yeah, at
So,
least. Yeah. So
and the person who went out was just chatting. So whether or not they want to anonymously comment on that, um, but yeah. But I mean, the good thing was she called us because somebody from the show had looked up area stores and everything, decided us to be the ones to contact. So there was that. But unbeknownst to me, like nobody from the show ever contacted us to say, hey.
they don't
So
want to hear the truth. In all the interviews and all the shows that I was guest on, so many Ghostbuster shows, which I will never do again. If it's amazing what they cut out.
yeah.
I'm trying to tell them what's going on, and they're going, and she saw this one over there and talking, and this is what they said. But they neglected to say, then I made the white light and they crossed over.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep the ghost, or let the people think I left it just was not worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Karen, she's like, I can only imagine all your soft stuff gone the next day from Ghostbusters, but it was the demons that did it.
You're right. Not only that, but the thing is this, these Ghostbusters don't think. A lot of times these ghosts are going to be so ticked off because you didn't release them, they're going to go home with you. Oh, good for you. You got them now. You don't even have to worry about somebody having a ghost in the next house. Just bring yours with you. So it's
Oh, and thanks to Ted for taking care of the dream bag order.
You're very welcome, Judy.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like you get paid to participate in reality TV. And there was a
They
question.
never paid me to be on any of those shows. The only one that ever paid me, and it was minimum pay, was when I worked on Ghost Whisper. That was the only thing nobody has ever paid me to be on any of those shows, ever.
How do you keep the wee folk from getting mad while work is being done to the house?
You have to use the we folks solution, and you have to start doing it, because they will absolutely be a problem for carpenters and anything like that. But so will earthbound spirits. So you have to make sure that you're treating or going after what the real problem is, unless you're just going to do a general treating and do everything for every individual thing. You have a lot of time on your hands then to do all that.
The studio, following up to their earlier question, says, I watch a lot of exorcist interviews on YouTube, and that is what they said to do to tell the difference between ghosts versus demons. Is there another better way then?
The demons that I saw looked like demons. They did not look like a human that was a demon. So that's the only way I can tell you. I mean, you can look in When Ghosts Speak, my one book, and there is a picture that I took of one that was a demon. And it is in that book. I was pointing the direction of the 35 millimeter camera in a different, yeah, isn't that the truth? I didn't live in California. And all of a sudden it showed up. So that's how, it was a fluke that I even got it. So I wish people wouldn't even use demon in conversation.
I quit watching the Dead Files after I started watching your podcasts.
Oh, thank you.
Dead Files is the one, and I cannot think of their actual names. It's just the one psychic medium who's a lady, and then there's the retired cop.
I don't know. I don't watch any of them. It just aggravates me so bad. It's terrible when I want to throw my water bottle through my own TV.
Yeah,
No,
don't do that.
no, 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 no. Ted wouldn't be happy at all.
Thank you for making the paranormal not scary. Um, like I remind people when they come into the store and they're all freaked out, and I'm like, would you be afraid of that person if they were alive, standing there being a jerk? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then why are you afraid of them now?
And there's an edge to it. You can't see them. Are they standing next to me? Are they standing behind me? Are they in my closet, in my bedroom? It's not knowing, which can be scarier than actually seeing them.
Right. Oh, so maybe Brooke needs to take up a new job of agenting, getting Marianne on the TV things. I'll handle all the back end stuff.
Oh, yay. My PR person, let's see, what book? I guess it was for When Ghosts Speak. She got me some, it was channel. Oh, I don't know. It was one of the morning talking head shows back when, and she had me on there. And maybe they would be more receptive to it now because there is so much of this out there. But it was, I mean, the makeup and the hair took longer than the interview. So,
which is always just astounding to me when I think about it. And then you figure too, they're going to be editing stuff out. So what a 30-minute interview looks like 7 minutes on TV.
Well, that's it. I'll be in a house and doing a house for TV on the news or something, especially in October. And I am in the house at least 2 hours because anybody whose house it is asking all kinds of questions. And they want to know answers to this, that, and the other thing. And I'm telling them this stuff. So I'm in there for a while and it's being totally filmed. Everything is being filmed. And then the producer will call me up and she'll go, I'm so happy we're getting a whole 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes. Yay.
Right.
I can't even spell my name in 3.5 minutes. So
fun time. It's when you tell me, like the first time you told me that, however many years ago, I was just like, why go through all the effort if you're going to knock it down? What do I know?
But it's interesting because they will start at the very beginning of the show saying, and wait till you see what our Ghostbuster has found at blah, blah, blah. And they keep putting that little blurb on till the very end, after the weather and after sports. So you watch the whole program. That gives them ratings.
And then it's like 3 minutes worth.
3 minutes. Yeah, 3.5 minutes if you're lucky.
But Brooke, if you got ins, I just remembered that there was a fun little meme I wanted to put up, but then I'm like, oh crap, it's not the right type file yet. There we go. Because it seemed like the last couple weeks there were a lot of questions about orbs and whether or not, legitimate. And then not long after that, here comes this picture, things that will always start a fight. Oh, you know what? Let me go take this down. Dust orbs are not ghosts.
Very good.
And it seemed very appropriate after Mansfield too.
Right. And the orbs that are totally blank in the middle, that's exactly what they are. Dust orbs. It's the ones that have a design in the middle that are the ones from the light, not the clear ones.
It's like what will always start a fight. There you go.
That's right. There you go.
Have either of us read The Testimony of Light? I have not.
I have not either.
So I can't say anything. Have not read it. Let's see. Scroll back here. Make sure I haven't missed anything. So Linda had a multi-part question. One was about how the seed above one of the windows was on the floor. She picked it up and put it back. And then she's like, I don't think an earthbound could have knocked it down because they didn't close to Marion seeds. But what are the odds? Well, no, if it's on the floor, so unless the earthbound can do a pretty good long jump over, maybe.
Well, no, they could come high. They don't have to walk on the floor and they don't have to jump. They can go higher. So, I mean, if you've got a 6-foot doorway, which is, I think, probably typical, then yeah, they could get in. But yeah, come on and just make sure that you didn't trap somebody in.
Right. Hello, all the new people coming in. Marianne is inspiration behind the TV show The Ghost Whisperer and The Consultant. So sees earthbound spirits, not those that have crossed over. So if you have questions about ghosts, how they work, the difference between them and spirit guides, she also can see the fairy folk. Feel free to ask questions, have discussions with us on it. Let's see. Amy Allen, right? That I couldn't think of her name. Let's see. Gina says, I'm making my first sea salt spray bottle to take with me to thrift stores and wanted to know the measurements to use. And it's the best to use bottled distilled water or just regular tap water.
It's the sea salt that is the important thing. Don't even bother to put it in water. Just put some in a little jar in a baggie and just sprinkle the salt on the item. You don't have to squirt it with anything. Just make it simple.
Oh, West Virginia about 12 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that was on our way to Florida. I remember that.
It's been a minute. You were going down to see your sister.
Yeah, and we just went through, I don't know, we drove through so many states and I just did houses all the way down and both sides of the coast and all the way back up to Ohio.
Let's see. There are so many pastors on YouTube doing deliverances on people. Is all of that staged?
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I sometimes going through the TV, you see, especially on Sunday mornings, you see all kind of people preaching and everything. And, I think everybody just does their calling. So I don't know, but I've never watched anybody. I mean, when we lived down south and they had revivals on the corner, boy, I would drive by and just watch these people in there jumping around and rolling around. And it was like, if nothing else, it looked like they were having a good time. So I don't know.
I mean, everybody's partying.
Yeah, I don't know what they were really
doing. Can you see the ghosts in viewers' houses now via YouTube with 55 people? I wonder if that works still.
With 55 people?
I wonder if there's that many watching on your channel right now.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I cannot. I can see them on Zoom, but that is a direct link from the computer that I'm talking on to their choice of having me in their house. But YouTube, no. Because YouTube you guys have to remember, I don't touch a computer. And are we on YouTube now, Melissa, or is this something else? Okay.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
Okay. So now, if somebody now I saw the lady in your house, so I guess I can see him on YouTube, huh? Or was that on Zoom?
No.
And is Zoom the same thing as YouTube?
So it's a direct link, but here's the difference. With YouTube, you guys can see us. We can't see you. Marianne could see into mine because she can see me.
Right. That's why I couldn't do it on YouTube. Okay. Thank you.
Explain technology here.
No, there's the swinging door that just stops when somebody tries to tell me something.
Vicky says, I don't know how I first discovered Marianne, but you and Melissa are family to me now. Thank you. Thank you for all of your info and great shows. I tell everyone who I think will believe me. My hubby, not so much. Well, guys are kind of like that sometimes, right?
Yeah. It's okay.
Um,
We love them anyway.
Hello, and there was the question, and I'm surprised nobody's asked this yet in all of the years we've been doing this. Do ghosts fart? They smoke. They change their clothes. Like, I mean, they probably don't have the physical need to, but
Well, saying that they don't eat, wouldn't that be part of that system that would cause that system to work? I don't know.
I mean,
I've never heard them burp or cough or sneeze, or I have seen on rare occasions cry, or at least their eyes get watery, but I've never. So I'm going to say no, that they don't.
I mean, makes sense. I mean, they're not eating anything. Do earthbounds
No,
clown around more during October?
no, they do not. Just everybody thinks they do. They're the same active every month of the year, more active the week working up to a full moon, which actually would be this week because there is a full moon this Saturday. So if you've got an earthbound spirit in your house, you're going to know it this week. That's for sure.
Let's see. Valerie says, went to a local Cleveland hospital last week to see my hubby, who's a patient. Later that night, at about 3 a.m., his electric alarm clock went off by itself. No explanation for this.
Something could easily have followed you home. Yes. I mean, hospitals are full there. And if it's a city hospital, double that because they have to take everybody that comes in. So, absolutely. And if you went in through emergency, that's almost certain.
Oh, thank you, Sonia. Mary Kathleen says, you're respected worldwide. We would love to see a full interview. You don't need the network talking heads anymore. Screw them. The subscribers would support you.
Thank you, Mary Kathleen.
I threw in my own take.
Yeah.
You're like, don't say that.
Yeah.
Sell signed copies of When Ghosts Speak.
Yes, I do.
At the events and stuff like that.
At the events, and actually, we're in the process right now of trying to get some signed books to the store. So,
what do earthbound spirits do when we sleep? Can they still suck the energy from us even while we're sleeping?
yeah, if they stand close to the bed, they can. Because if they're standing close to the bed, you're going to have really bizarre dreams. They can't get in your dream, but they can cause you to have dreams. So if you wake up frightened or scared about something, your heart's pumping, more energy for them. But they're just usually snooping around through the house, checking out all the rooms. No, they stay right there. They don't sleep, but they're very aware of what's going on. A lot of them like to do their hiding and moving stuff in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. Or for those that you that work night, they'll do it during the day while you're sleeping. So they don't have to, they can do it whenever they want. I had a guy call me the other day and leave a message that he wants to know who took his eye. He's got a glass eye. And he had it soaking in whatever you soak a glass eye in at night. I guess like dentures, I don't know. And he went in the morning to get his eye, and his eye was gone. And he says, I can assure you, if it dropped, I would have known it. And I'm going, okay, let's, we'll figure this out. So I don't know.
See, I'm thinking of that little old lady in the nursing home episode who would go around stealing all the teeth.
The teeth, yeah. And that wasn't a ghost. That was her. Believe me. She was just going around stealing everybody's teeth. And then there's the little lady that went around, and when her relatives came in to see her over the weekend, she had 42 rosaries wrapped around her neck. She stole everybody's rosary. So, you have to do something in a day. You just
bored. What are you going to do? That's where you go get a bunch of those plastic ones that are like $2, $3 and just leave them
Well,
like around.
yeah, the holy people come and bring the plastic ones there, and most of them were pink, blue, and green and yellow ones. Yeah,
Yeah, primary,
exactly.
you
With
know,
the thread or the string in between. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
Let her go steal all of those to her heart's content.
That's right.
Um, let's see. Did we do that? I don't think we have. My husband is a firefighter paramedic. He doesn't really believe, but I'm afraid he brings spirits home.
I'm sure he does. That is one of the jobs that has a tendency to have people follow him home. Um, I have to admit, though, if it was somebody that they got called to for a violent death or a car accident death, that just may be, that might be your husband might be the person they saw and they just felt comfortable with because those people are kind and went home with him, but it wasn't his cup of tea and he went back to his own family. It doesn't mean they're going to stay, but there's no doubt they can absolutely bring some home. And for some reason, I think it's cute, and I don't know how that happens, but it seems like firemen and nurses are always married to each other. So if one doesn't bring them home, the other one will.
Right. Kathy asks if we folk can cause you to trip while working in the garden.
Yes, they can. All of a sudden, the hose right where you didn't leave it and you go over it. Or another lady I know, oh, that little rotten troll turned the rake upside. So the prongs were up and she stepped right on it and went right through her heel. So, yeah, they can absolutely cause problems like that.
Um, might be a little personal, but have you ever had your brain studied via MRI or CT scan just to see what's going on in that brain of yours while you're seeing the ghostesses?
Yeah, I have actually. Well, I've had those, but not for that. But when I was 17, I was going out with a sophomore from one of the colleges. The very first date we ever went on, he took me to we were going to a dance, and he said, can we stop at the lab at one of the halls? He said, there's something I have to do, and I have to do it tonight. He says it'll take 20 minutes. Can we do it? And I'm in a car. Yeah, I guess we're going to go to the lab. What do And so we go, and there was this nice looking gentleman that had a lab coat on, and I guess he was a professor, doctor, professor, something, I don't know. And when we walked in, he said to Bob, he said, oh, this is who you're going to do the test on. And now my ears are all perked up. What test are we doing on me? Now, nobody knew what I did except
Right.
Grandma. So and he said, we're doing a test on people being left-brained and right-brained, how much they use their brains. And I'm thinking to myself, whoa, this might not be a good thing because I don't know what my brain does. And I said, what do I have to do? And he said, you're going to be in a soundproof booth and we're going to ask you 25 questions. We're going to show you like like they held up a card, what's on the side of the card, that type of thing. And I'm thinking, huh. And I looked at Bob and I says, 20 minutes, huh? And he said, yeah, we'll be out of here in 20 minutes and we just have to walk across the campus I said, fine. So I get in and it's comfortable inside. It's not too hot, not too cold. There's a glass window. And Bob is the one that had to ask me the questions with the professor, doctor watching. And so Bob asks me these questions. And I do remember that I'm not a psychic. I don't know if there's a star or wavy lines or a polka dots on a card. What do I know? But there was a ghost in there. And the ghost was standing behind Bob. The ghost was telling me some of the answers. And so I thought, I bet I passed this really good. And so, like, it was important now for me to get all the answers right. I don't know why, but I had to do that. And come out, and I looked at Bob. I said, "Can we go now?" And this professor's looking at this paper, and he said, "No, no, no, not yet." And I looked at Bob and I said, "Why?" And he said, "This is so unusual." He says, "This is so very, very, very unusual." He said, "I would like to give you another test." I said, "No, I don't want to do another test." And he says, "Yes," he says, "but according to this, you use your left side of your brain almost equally as your right side, which apparently is unusual." Now, do I really? Or did I cheat?
Well, how would you have cheated?
Well, the ghost told me some of the answers.
Oh,
Well, they were standing behind Bob.
okay.
And so, and the ghost would just say, "Wavy, dot, water," because it was like waves. I don't know. And I didn't do it. And Bob said to me, he called me after the dance and he said, "Boy, I hope I don't fail that course because of that." And I just looked at him and I said, "First of all, you never told me I was going to have to do this." I said, "And I wasn't comfortable doing it. And I'm not doing it again." He says, "But the professor really wants you to do that test again." I says, "I'm not." And that was the last time I ever went out with Bob.
Like, we are done here.
Yeah, right.
Well,
We're
I,
so
I was thinking more like probably the brain activity because of being able to see the ghost. That's why I was like, well, how is that cheating? You do that naturally.
Yeah, but I couldn't see the cars because of not being able to be a psychic. So that part I did cheat on.
Right. Well, but the brain scan still stands itself.
Yeah, right.
Oh, naughty, naughty Marianne, cheater.
You never know.
What is the best way to bless and cleanse a new house? I know it's new, but can't residuals from the land or people who were building be there?
It can. And what I would do is the best thing I would say is to smudge, um, clear it out, get rid of any negative energy. If there are any earthbound spirits in the house, if the house has been vacant for a while, there are probably not any earthbound spirits in the house. If the house has been vacant for a really long time, I might go to the library and get the book When Ghosts Speak, one of my books, and do the negative energy removal ceremony on the last chapter on the book or the property. If there's no negative energy on it, you're not putting negative energy on by doing it. And if there is negative energy, now you just removed it. So it's a total win-win. And that's what I would do. And of course, Dylan, you can always call and make sure the house is clear.
Yeah, if you don't want to be on a Zoom.
Right.
Only because we've had so many questions about portals before, but I don't think we've had this one. Have you encountered a portal that goes down into the earth?
Never. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. There we go. I said right along the portals are usually on an inside wall. I have found portals twice in a basement, on the floor of a basement. Now, I guess that could mean if they pop in and out of that you visualize it going down into the ground. So I guess you could say yes, but I don't really know for sure.
Can ghosts make cologne or pipe smell to get your attention?
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. And believe it or not, it's usually ones that have crossed over. Not, you're going to get a rotten egg smell, a skunk smell, a fishy odor, like somebody's been cooking fish for 8 hours straight. Those smells, or sewer smells, those smells are usually made by earthbound spirits. But when you smell grandma's perfume or your father's pipe tobacco that he's smoking, they're visiting.
Do you recommend or work with anyone who could communicate with those that have crossed over?
Melissa, take that one.
Yeah. We have quite a few. Gregory Nicholas, Maria Cerna, Larry. Who else? There's everybody who reads for the store through the store at any of my events. They're vetted. Everybody has to do an interview read before they're allowed to come work through the store name. Jim Flynn, because he's got such limited availability because of his normal 9-to-5 Clark Kent job, he's harder to get into. We're looking into like June, July for him. But Greg, Larry, Maria, they're there and easily to get into. And this is true. I forgot about this, Vicki. The little girl that was on the office side of the store, she would take naps. But not because she had to, right? She was kind of lingering with that illness, and that's what she was kind of obsessed over.
Right.
She was also very shy. Let's see.
Nothing is ever 100%. As soon as you say, this is what happens, you're going to run across somebody that proves you wrong. So it's usually not 100% because nothing's 100%.
Were there any strange things that happened on the set of The Ghost Whisperer?
All the time. I mean, there were movie stars there. There were stunt people that had died there. And of course, it's a joke anymore that I cannot remember her name.
We always have to go look. I should have a note, like a little Post-it note with her name, like on my laptop every time this comes in.
For those of you that are old enough, the one is Victoria Barkley from the Big Valley. Miss Barbara Stanwyck. I got it. Okay. She was there, totally upset about how people were even making TV and movies now. I mean, remember her era? Yeah. They didn't even have double beds back then. If you were in a bedroom scene, everybody was in a single bed. So things have changed and she wasn't happy. But yeah, there was all kinds of stuff that went on. Absolutely.
Let's see. Liz says, I had ice cold lay next to me in the middle of the night. Then it left and the temp went back to normal by morning.
They can cause a temperature change. Absolutely. I mean, they can actually mess with your temperature control unit and make it hotter or colder in the house. But if they're right in your space, you can feel a temperature change. That can happen.
Valerie says, I'm coming on Zoom June 9th to see if I brought anything home from the hospital with me. Ordered quince seeds from you and sage from another source. So go ahead and sage once or twice before then. So hopefully everything's out and all you got to do is put your seeds up.
That's right.
Which metal protects firefighters? Probably the same one that's for all law enforcement and paramedics. And
you know what? I don't remember. Ted was the one when we did shows that knew every saint and what they were good for, from cancer to pregnant women to finding something in the house. I mean, to St. Christopher driving in your car. So Ted would probably know that better than me. And I would probably scream for him right now to come in here and I could ask him, but chances are he wouldn't remember without looking it up. And he's probably sleeping in his recliner right now. So what I will do, I will make a note and I will have it next Wednesday so that you know. You could also call any religious goods store and they will tell you. And I'm going to bet if you look it up on your phone, you'll find it there too. And chances are whatever one you find, I've got it. Along with the card that goes with it.
Let's see.
The patron saint of firefighters.
Saint Florian and Saint Barbara are listed,
Okay, there you go.
but Florian comes up.
First,
hmm Followed by a close third of Michael, but Michael gets assigned to everything.
yeah, leave
Hmm.
Michael alone. Just go with the other one.
It's like the whole archangel thing. Everybody assigns him to everything. And I'm like, if you want to get into high magic and working with angels, like that is not what he should be used for.
Never.
Quit trying to overwork him. Um, Liz says, I'm a singer performer, have always had spirits follow me from house to house, sit on the couch next to me, on my bed, walk over me, mess with my electronics. Your book has helped me so much in learning and sending them away.
Seriously, because of your job, I would say you are definitely a person that should have a quince seat on them all the time. If you play instruments, piano, that is yours, that you're the only one that uses it, I would put a seed on your instruments in their case. Um, Absolutely, because and if it's a big venue, then definitely you should have a seat on you.
Um, Everybody's wanting to know if you use ghosts to cheat on tests in school.
No, I never even thought of it.
Not until college, right?
Well, it wasn't my college. But no, I mean, you're standing there with nuns. I mean, I'm old. There's nuns in full garb. I'm not, no, I wasn't going to talk to any kind of ghost there. And most of the ghosts in school were kids. Why would they know the answer?
City says, I remember one of the Ghost Whisper episodes, an earthbound spirit comes and tells Melinda that he is going to incarnate as her little boy soon. Can they do that?
No, they cannot. They have no idea if and when they choose to come back, but the only way they can be reincarnated is from the light. Melinda did not talk to anybody from the light. She only talked to earthbound spirits like me because it was about me. And I don't talk to ones that cross over. So no, that was another one of those. It wasn't one of the 4 true sentences in the episode.
Can I recommend anybody in the Atlanta? I do not know anybody in Atlanta, but Greg, Larry, Jim, there are the options on our website, goddesslead.com, and you go to Readers Healers where you can book your session over Zoom. So you can see them, they can see you, can do it. And Larry has the availability in the evenings from 5 to 10 on some days during the week. So that's the best I can give you. I don't know anybody personally that lives in that area.
I used to know people that could do it over the phone, but I think that it would be, in my opinion, more accurate to do it on a Zoom so they could at least see the person that they're talking to.
Are gnomes the same as we folk?
Yes, absolutely.
Love me some grumpy little gnomes.
Anything that's not human and runs around and talks or gibbers or whatever. Yeah.
Can an earthbound soul wait for his wife till she passes? And can earthbounds change forms to look like anything like a celebrity or a character?
I have never seen an earthbound spirit change forms, ever. I know there's this doppelganger thing. I know nothing about that. So that I cannot tell you. What was the first part of that question?
Can an earthbound wait till the wife passes
Oh,
away?
yeah, and that's very, very common. Nursing homes are full of women. We just live longer than men, and if you ask a man, we've killed you, and that's why you're dead. But when I go into a nursing home, you see the women. It's amazing how many ghost men are there waiting for their wives. They're just going to go over with them, and sometimes I look around and I look at these guys and I think, were you this loyal when you were alive or what? You just wonder sometimes. But, and I've said it, if you've been to any of my talks, I have yet to see a woman waiting for a man in a nursing home. It's like, I'm out of here, folks. You're on your own.
Sick of everybody, and they're
including you.
um, is having spirit attachments, being cursed, negative energy, all the same?
No, a spirit is earthbound, is a person that is earthbound and is attached to you. A curse is negative energy on you. So negative energy and a curse is the same. It's just, yeah, negative energy.
Let's see. Elle says a neighbor said they saw our dead son for 10 years standing by a tree in our yard. Would that
A
be a
neighbor saw our dead son for 10 hours standing by a
10
tree.
hours, not years?
I guess what I would want to know is, did the child die unexpectedly where he did not cross over? Was there some reason why he didn't go into the light? Or did he go into the light and he was just visiting his family and so he was standing out there and you could see him like that? I guess it depends on what you can see. And if they've had dreams of him, then that would tell me that you could see spirits that crossed over. That's about all I could tell you. I don't know why he would be hanging out.
Let's see. I'm finally like, there's so much in the chat. Like sometimes I'm seeing it after we've moved on. The Karen's like, poor Saint Michael, he's overworked. So many saints, he needs a break.
Really? And I've said this before on here. Every one of you have an individual saint that is yours. Look it up. Look at what sign you are in the zodiac and see what the patron saint is for that sign. That's your own personal ghost or angel, rather, or saint. And that is other than your guardian angel, which is always with you. So there's all kinds of saints that can help you if you just ask them.
Um, Adventuring with Samira says, can earthbounds move objects very easily?
Yes, especially this week because of the full moon on Saturday. They have more energy then.
And Melanie says, I had a great grandfather or grandfather tell where to find his military discharge papers when my mother and uncle could not find them.
Of course. And these are questions that you can have spirits that have crossed over answer for you in dreams. Because dreams are more acceptable than getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and see grandpa sitting on the foot of your bed.
Let's see. Linda says, Michael appeared in a dream, was so beautiful, I was stunned. So he changed his visage, apologized. She apologized because of reading more, for being such a schoolgirl. He said it was not a problem, happens all the time.
No, and I'm sure you're absolutely. There would be no reason why a saint, an angel, couldn't talk to you in a dream. Absolutely.
Maybe your son had a geocache by the tree. Let's see. So I think I'm finally caught up with everybody's questions, comments. So you have heard us reference Zoom sessions before. And these are where, if you suspect that you might have an earthbound spirit portal, something going on, and you want clarification and or guidance, this is how you do that. It is limited to 20 people. It is $20 to be on there. Marianne's call list is months long. And right now she's not able to really help people that are out of state, out of the country. So, but if you're on the Zoom, then you get the priority. A few side notes or pre-notes. When you are registering, please make sure you have your email typed in correctly, because as soon as you hit enter and submit, the system will email to you or try to your confirmation with your Zoom link. If your email is mistyped, of course, you're not going to get it. And kind of unless you've been somebody that's been around before, I don't know what your email is supposed to be to fix it for you and resend it. That being said, don't delete it. That's your Zoom link. Nobody under the age of 18. They start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time which is our time. So if you are out of that time zone, please adjust accordingly so you can join us during that time frame. If you're running a little late and like you can't get there to 7:45, like I allow people to come in even late as we're doing this. But if it's 10:30 and we're finally wrapping up and you finally show up, like we're done. Because it's long. You have to be in the building that your questions are about. Do not be at work on your lunch break if your questions are about your house, because Marianne can only tell you about the building that you're in. These happen on Fridays and Mondays. So hopefully that works for most people. One Friday a month, one Monday a month, and again, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that link will work forever and ever as long as we're still doing them. So feel free to join us. They're not recorded. They're not broadcasted out. Everybody's not going to know your business, just you and the few other people who are probably going to have similar instances and questions as you. So you're going to be in a room full of like-minded people. Don't worry about judgment.
And a lot of times, once the people have asked their questions and gotten their answers, they get off. They're usually not even, they don't even always stay on. So it's actually, we've never had any issue with that of people talking about something that somebody else said. Never.
Right. Let's see. We do have a couple other events coming up in person. We have the train walk in Kipton. That's going to be in July. That is on the west side of Cleveland, Lorain County. I'm saying that because I was at the haunted flea market this past Saturday, and like people kept trying to argue with me that it was like out on the east side near Solon. And I'm like, no, it's not. I promise you it's not. Well, I've been there. Then you have not. It's out in the middle of a cornfield, honey. It's not on the east side. But that little town with that train wreck is the reason why, if you have an analog watch still on your wrist, most of us don't, right? We're all on digital and fancy smartwatches, but that is the reason why there are second hands now for precise timekeeping. It was a mail delivery train and a passenger train that collided because the timing got off slowly over a bit of time. So we will be there. We'll have access to a couple of the buildings, the town building, the area in and around that. What was it, about 3 weeks ago? We put up some pictures of previous in like lights that are unexplainable out there. So that is the first one coming up. And I did not make the link for the Midwest Railway yet because it's kind of far out and Kipton's first. But in August, we will be out at the Midwest Railway Preservation Society. They have out there the death car number 62 that was in a wreck in New York that was it 27 people were just pretty much instantly steamed to death. So that car is on grounds that they maintain and care for. So we'll have access to that, the roundhouse, the maintenance house, storage building, the outside grounds. And if you're a true crime fan, we will be within sight of that hill that some of the Cleveland torso murderer body parts were thrown down. And Marianne has some info about that.
I do. So it'll be, it's there. They still have in the morgue in downtown Cleveland, they still have a head in a jar, a bell jar, swimming around in something. I don't know what the liquid is, but still trying to figure out who that man was that was beheaded many years ago. And that head was thrown over on that hill that we're going to be seeing.
So, there's some fun little history. There's some other little theories that they have about who the Cleveland torso murderer could have been. There's rumors about a little girl on the property, and Marianne might be able to help finish solving that one out. So there's a lot going on this area of train yard that we will be at. So if you're in the area or thinking of making a trip, those are a couple of events to maybe come join us at. That's all that we have planned right now so far. There's a few others that I'm playing email phone tag with to finish lining up, as well as trying to line up a few other locations that we can do live podcast recording, kind of like the Stanley Hotel. So some things in the works that are still coming. Probably be our last question for this live. Can earthbounds levitate people?
No, they cannot. They can't pick them up. They can't throw them against a wall. No, no, no. They don't walk through you, and you don't walk through them either.
Or sit on?
Or sit on them. Absolutely not. I don't know where all this stuff comes from. I just don't know.
TV.
I guess. I guess.
TV. So for our fans and friends, I should say, that are on Twitch, we will be doing a podcast recording probably here in about 15 minutes. Time to go refill drink cups, bathroom break, and reset. And I get my notebook to make timestamp notes and everything for editing later. But Marianne has a two-parter, and we're going to be recording both parts today. So if you like to see what we do during a podcast, the conversations that I have to take out, smart ass comments I have to take out, then join us over on Twitch. We usually record at least one on Wednesdays after this live on Twitch. And then once we're done, I go in and I take it down. So if you're not there while it's happening, you can't go back and watch that one. You got to wait for it to be released. So yeah, Marianne, you got any last minute stuff before we take our quick break?
No, I think everything is looking good. Still trying to find areas that will let us have events. The hotels that I've always used before and the halls are still not doing it since COVID. They said they don't have staff. So we're working at trying to find stuff to do, but it's still not doing well. Yeah.
But we love the smart ass comments. Oh, City. You know what, City Hun? I wonder if that was one of the days. There was twice within the last month that we didn't do it. And we'll usually say during the live. One, Marianne had to leave her doctor's appointment. And then it was last week. We both, I sounded rough and you were feeling bad because of allergies. And I'm like, I'll be doing nothing but editing out throat clearing, coughing, sneezing. And to me, I sounded like I was speaking through gravel because I was so congested and hitting in the back of the throat. So that may have been it, but it will be live and active here in about 15 minutes. Once this ends, give us about 15 minutes to reset all the things. But thank you for joining, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, all those things. It does help us. Tell friends who also might be interested, tell them to come join us. I think we're a pretty friendly group.
I think most of the time, yeah.
I haven't bitten anybody yet, and I haven't stabbed anybody, so
no. We haven't cursed anybody, so we're good.
Right, despite what everybody says.
That's right.
But thanks for joining, and find us over on Twitch. It is free. You don't have to subscribe. Just maybe watch a commercial here and there. And they run every 33 minutes. That was the longest I could tell them to set it. But anything that we get from there, like I said, goes to help pay for the in-person rentals that we have to pay for. So thanks for joining. Oh, you're right, Brooke. Tonight, 7:00, Woo Woo Wednesday continues. Readings, metaphysical talk, witchcraft talk, all that fun stuff later this evening. We will not be under Marianne's eye. We can misbehave a little more. So come back later.
You're all adults. Do what you wish.
Marianne, are you gonna come bail me out, or do I have to sit in jail overnight? Are you that?
Depends how much you need. I only keep so much spare cash in the house.
Fair enough. And you'll probably send Tara to come sign me out.
That's right. I would, especially if it's at night.
Hi, Tara. It was fun, though.
That's right.
So yeah, join us tonight, 7:00 over on Twitch. But thanks, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.